Today I want to show you how to cook chicken from frozen. Yes, from frozen, and you can do it. Most people have an air fryer. It's the perfect vessel to get juicy chicken, even from frozen. So I'm coating one side just with a little avocado oil spray. I have one of these bottles that makes it really easy, just really easy to distribute all that oil across here. You can do it just by drizzling some on too, but little oil to help the seasoning stick. These are right out of the freezer, these chicken breasts. Now you do want to make sure if you're picking out some chicken breasts to put in here that they're kind of consistent size. Usually you get that frozen bag and they're like 3 big ones and 2 little ones and they're all different sizes. I would make sure that they're kind of consistent size so they all cook relatively the same, but not a big deal. Just cook as many as you need or as many that will fit in your air fryer. And just be careful because frozen chicken breast too is a little clunky to work with. So I have my favorite little mini tongs. They help me with a little bit more dexterity. And coat and season the other side. I love the spray bottle. It just gives an even coat. You're not left with pools of oil on the bottom or like a glug all over here and then all this doesn't have any oil. So it helps for pretty even coverage. And no need to buy the stuff already in a bottle. Just these squirt bottles are really affordable and you can load them up with olive oil, any kind of oil you need for any recipe. And I like a generous dose of the seasoning all around. I just made my own blend of seasoning. So this blend is pretty easy. It's just salt, pepper, garlic, a little onion powder, and a little paprika for color. Now let's get this loaded up. Now yes, it is safe to cook chicken from frozen. You just wanna make sure, like with any of your cooking, that it gets to the right internal temperature. And the air fryer has a little bit of magic in it where it keeps it juicy in the center and creates this little bit of a crust on the outside that locks in the juices. That's why the air fryer is one of the perfect tools to cook chicken from frozen. This looks a little naked, so we're just gonna dress it up with a little bit more spice. There we go. And don't worry, it's still gonna come out super juicy, super tender. This is great for if you forgot to set out some chicken to thaw, if you just want a quick dinner. You don't have to unthaw the chicken, you can just cook it directly. Now let me figure out, on! I feel like Zoolander with the computer. Oh, it's unplugged. So I preheated this, so it's been running for a little bit at 375, and now I'm just gonna set the time to 10 minutes. This will need about 20 minutes total, but I want 10 minutes and then I wanna flip it. So it should start going, there it goes. These things sound like a jet engine sometimes. And now with 20 minutes to go, this is a good time to work in your sides, make a salad, make some rice, make some noodles, whatever you're gonna have with your chicken. Chicken's gonna be ready in no time. And of course, you can adjust those seasonings per your recipe. I tend to try to keep things simple, maybe just a little salt and pepper, salt, pepper, garlic, so then I can let it rest, chop it up, and then add it to the recipe that I'm making. So if you don't have an air fryer, you can do this same thing in a regular oven. It's just gonna take a little bit more time, and you'll wanna keep an eye on it, and it helps to add a little bit of moisture, so like a sauce, a marinade, keep basting that on just to add the moisture that you may lose in the oven and because it's being cooked from frozen. But if you have an Instant Pot, Instant Pots are also great for cooking chicken from frozen. They'll retain the moisture, and you can make a 1-pot dish with frozen chicken in those Instant Pots. Or if you have the time, you can use a slow cooker to cook from frozen too. So lots of variations, lots of variety, but this is my favorite way to do it, right in the air fryer. So I'll see you in about 10 minutes. Got a few seconds left, and this already is smelling incredible. So the aroma's already in the air, some good spices on my chicken. So I'm gonna let this keep going, but you can do this with any type of chicken. You can do this with wings, thighs, drumsticks, probably not a whole chicken. You'll just adjust the time you cook it and then make sure you get to the right internal temperature. So that dark meat will need just a little bit longer. If you're doing something like chicken tenders, you'll need a little bit less time. Okay, that's our first half. We're gonna remove that. Things are already looking great in here. So we're gonna give these a flip. Get in here, rotate, rotate. I'm just gonna put a little bit more seasoning on this side. Let this go for 8 more minutes. So we need about 20 minutes total. It's ran for 10. I'm gonna go 8, flip it, and then if I need the extra 2 minutes, I'm gonna let it go again. I like to do things in stages. That way I'm not overcooking it. You can just kind of monitor it incrementally. Air fry. Oh wait, hold on. Upside down is always a tough way to do this. I'm such a pro at this. Oh, those are minutes. We said 8 minutes, right? And ignition. Cooking times are just a ballpark, so about 20 minutes total, flipping halfway through. If you're ever in doubt, use your food thermometer. Digital one's super easy to use. You need an internal temperature for a chicken breast at 165, so you can just go ahead and check at the end of that second cooking round. Now, different types of chicken is gonna cook differently, whether your chicken breasts are a little bit smaller, bigger. I usually go on the shorter end of that cooking time, check things out, and then you can always cook for an additional few minutes. It's hard to uncook overcooked chicken. chicken. And also realize that there's resting time, there's carryover cooking, so your food will tend to cook a little bit longer even after you remove it from the heat. So always for your proteins, especially chicken, temperature is gonna be more important than time. I'm gonna remove this to check the temp. We're about 150, so we need to get to 165, so I'm gonna go those extra 2 minutes. Flip it back up on its top side. You don't really need to flip it again, but I like to. Chicken New Year's, the countdown begins to Chicken New Year. Pulling, checking. Ooh, nice crust on the outside, looks juicy. Checking the temperature here. This smaller, thinner one's good to go, so I'm gonna pull it so it doesn't overcook. Let's check our other ones. This one's good to go. Now resting is important, so those can just sit there. Now this last little buddy is a little thicker. Even though it's smaller, it's really thick. So I'm just gonna let it go another minute or so. And these will continue cooking while they rest to seal in those juices. You want still nice, juicy chicken breast. And learning cooking and cooking technique is all about using all of your senses. I like to say that. So what I do is I feel, so this is done chicken. What does it feel like? Kind of bounces back, it's not soft. This one's a little firmer, so this probably means it's cooked a little bit longer, but still nice and juicy and tender on the inside. So that way in future cooking, if you're not used to it, you can cook with a little bit of feel too. It's usually what I do on the grill too. Give it a little poke. I know it's getting close, and then I can always follow up and double check with a food thermometer. Poke, poke, poke. Poke, poke, poke. Now you wanna rest at least 5 minutes. I even do up to 10 minutes. That just means all those juices will redistribute, especially if you're gonna chop this up and add it to something. I usually like to let it sit a little longer. But if you're just having a chicken breast as a side, just go ahead, let this rest 5 minutes, and then add it to your plate, and you'll have hot, juicy, tender chicken ready to go for your dish. And this is from frozen, and it really takes just about no time. 20 minutes is nothing to throw it in there, let this cook while you do the rest of your food prep. Probably doesn't need these 13 seconds, but we're gonna just let it go. Right, Elsa? Just let it go. There you are. Boom! All right, there we go. Chicken's looking good. So funny, the smallest one took the most time because it was really thick. And there we go, right on target. That's gonna sit there, hang out for a little longer. So let's check our chicken. These have been resting a little bit. All right, we'll cut into this. That looks great. Still juicy, really soft and tender, not overcooked and dry in the center. From frozen again, great. This is really the shortcut, easy button, especially if you forget to defrost. So this could be your go-to method anyways, just no need to plan ahead. Just know that you can cook from frozen. Juicy, flavorful, now that's some good chicken. That seasoning blend is so good. Salty, savory, garlicky, a little bit of pepper, super good. Delicious.